Friday. Into March. Last Friday in March. I've got a kid over here. I want to say hello. Who are you?
Hi.
Who are you?
Mason.
Mason Edward. Well, Mason, what's that? They're on. They'll be on in any moment now. They're looking for me. See? There you go. Sure. So what are we doing this weekend? Just having fun?
Yeah.
Kicking back? Yeah. So big day at school today? Right on. All right. He's my runner. I dropped him off track practice yesterday, went on a run myself, and I was like limping by the end of it. Bad knees. Anyhow, thanks, Mason, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Of course, there will be more kids coming in and out as per usual. Love seeing the kids. As you know, I have a lot of them, so I embrace them ever since COVID. Embraced the interruptions and absolutely enjoyed seeing my children and making them a part of everybody's lives. Anyhow, I will go ahead and share my screen, get into the nitty gritty of what we're here to talk about. And boy, I just finished putting together all the information. Did a lot of homework on it, just because, man, there's a lot changing, and there's a lot that I want to share. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. Of course, there's me, Stephen Thomas. I'm your quantitative economics and decision sciences nerd, geek. Love to geek out on housing. I'm a housing analyst. This is all I do. People accuse me, because I'm in real estate, that's all I'm a big fat cheerleader for housing. However, I like to tell it like it is. Just like I saw the slowdown in 2018 with higher interest rates, I also saw the coming up Great Recession in saw it as early as fall of 2005, that there was an issue. 2006, definitely a glut of homes on the market. Was able to talk about the eventual downfall of real estate, and it started in 2007. So our company is Reports on Housing. It's your local real estate snapshot, and we have a lot of fun just crunching the numbers, bringing housing reports for all over Southern California. Later on this year, we will reveal a brand new report for the Bay Area. It'll be all 9 Bay Area counties just smashed into one. Anyhow, and I invite everybody to go onto YouTube. Even if you're watching this thing on Facebook, I invite you to go over to YouTube, because I want everybody to like the videos and subscribe, so that we can set the narrative for what's really going on in housing. Properly set expectations of all buyers, sellers, neighbors, everybody out there. I'm hearing way too much noise, way too much gobbledygook from so many different parts of the economy, economic analysis from people that do economics, but they're not really diving into the day-to-day housing metrics, as well as seeing how everything else flows into housing, taking a look at everything. And so I'm just inviting everybody to please ignore the noise and instead just tap into what we do, so that, and there's other housing analysts as well. So I encourage you to find actual housing analysts that this is what their bread and butter is. And that's all that they do is forecast, look at trends, talk about where we've been and where we're going from here. But a couple funny slides. I finally remember what Zoom meetings remind me of. They do kind of remind me of that, the Muppets. How about, if anyone asks you what real estate is like in 2022, just send this to them. Or watching realtors brag about selling over list price in 2022. Bravo. Because more than 2/3 of all homes that sell in the state of California are selling for above their asking price for the month of March. Wait till that stat comes out later on in April. I've already drilled down a little bit for Southern California for the first couple weeks of March, and very, very eye-opening. We went over some of that last week. But let's talk about the inventory catastrophe. And I'm not trying to sensationalize anything, because I used to call it the inventory crisis. I now refer to it as the inventory catastrophe. And people wondered how in the world we got here, and where are we? When will this inventory catastrophe end? And This is Altos Research. This thing comes out every single Monday. It actually went, remember, we hit a low last week. It was revealed that we had gone up to 248,000. And within the last week, it went down to 247,000. But that still means that the all-time low for this year and all-time low was on March 7th at 241,000. Last year was 307,000. And that was the prior all-time low. And it's 21% lower than where the low was last year. That's how much further that we drilled down as a nation. This is national, 241,000 homes. That's where we are right now, 247,000 as of this last Monday. So anyways, if I draw a line across, you can see we have not been here before. And this is where the inventory has been drilling down since 2015. You can see slowly but surely each year, 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, it continued to drill down. Now, something I do want to point out is that in 2018, it hit a really a low at the start of 2018, and then increased quite a bit up to the last peak from 2017. So we built extra inventory. It's actually, the trend would have been for it to continue to go down, but we built inventory because we had higher rates. But just for a minute, because I have so many people say, yeah, when it was 5%, it didn't really slow down the market and we didn't go negative. Yeah, it didn't slow down the market enough because we weren't there long enough. And so that's led to 2019. In 2019, we had an extra number of homes that were left over from the end of 2018 that were, so we built a bit of an inventory in 2019. Then after that, it came down. But let's go into Southern California inventory. And this is where we are right now. And if I draw a line across, of course, you're not going to see anything like this. And keep in mind, this is 2012 through 2020 through today, 2022. Prior to this, which I have only in Orange County, the Himalayas were much harder. We had a supply glut, and then the market fixed itself. And you can actually see where it was coming down at that big stride on the left-hand side. That was at the start of 2012. Prior to that, we hit really high heights. And as a matter of fact, in Orange County alone, we had 20,000, almost 20,000 listings, 18,000 listings, which means that in Los Angeles County, it was over 30,000. So between the two, we were looking at over 50,000 homes on the market just between Orange County and LA, and there's the rest of Southern California. So there was a glut of homes back then. And right now we're dealing with that supply catastrophe. It's actually where we are, the low that we hit, where we are right now compared to a year ago is we're down 17%. So it's not like the rest of the nation where they're down 21%, but still, by and large, we are down considerably. One of those is because San Bernardino is actually up compared to last year. But it's right now total Southern California off 17% compared to a year ago right now. And if you look, this is the 2018, when we got up to, we went from 4% interest rates to 5% interest rates. And as a result, we really added a few more listings than we normally do. Normally it would peak during the summer, but this did not peak until the fall, which is why it kept on going. And that's why it's an extra long, steep hill. So inventory peaks typically in the summer, but when we have an issue, it peaks later on in the year. And that's exactly what happened in 2018 because we had 5% interest rates by the time we got to November. And this demonstrates it. So 2013 are the green lines, and the dotted lines are what happened to interest rates. 2018 is the red line, and that's the solid line is what happened to inventory, and the dotted line is what happened with rates. So you can see in 2013 and 2018, both those years, we had a substantial increase in mortgage rates. And in 2013, it was pretty substantial. I mean, it was about 3 3/8%, and it made its way all the way up to over 4.5%. So that was a big change. Now, how about and what happens? And I've talked about this before. As interest rates rise, demand starts to peel off, but you have to be going higher and stay higher for a length of time. So it has to be for longer than a minute. So as the interest rates rise, demand starts to peel off. And when you have a little bit less demand, it allows for the inventory to rise because people don't want to overpay for a house, or we don't get as many offers above the asking price, and it starts to cool down. I know that's not what we're dealing with right now. This is most likely, if we stay where we're at right now, as far as interest rates are at, then we will be here by summer. We'll see this noticeable shift where things start to slow a bit, and we'll finally build some real inventory. So, but that takes time. Now, what I can show you is that recently we've been fighting inflation, and we know that we're still fighting inflation. The number for March when it comes out is going to be another high print, the CPI, when we get that in April. I'm sure it will be very, very eye-opening. And then we've heard plenty about what the Federal Reserve is doing. So the Federal Reserve is all in. They're doing more. They're even coming back after their meetings, and they're saying more hawkish things because they really want to change the treasuries, as well as long-term mortgage rates and the interest rate environment. The more that they put fire on that, the more that what we're seeing is that interest rates continue to rise, because they're saying we're going to do everything we can. It can go up 0.5%. We're going to do it several times throughout the year. So they're talking the talk, and as a result, it's having an impact on rates. And then, of course, there's the Russia-Ukraine war that is becoming, it's over a month old. It's devastating to watch. It's going to have a ripple effect throughout the economy around the world. It's going to add to inflation. There's more issues that we're all digesting. These are all those exogenous shocks. They're outside of real estate, but what they do is they have an impact on rates, and they have an impact on our economy. And so they're having to deal with the balancing act of knowing that there's this war and everything else, and at the same time trying to tamper down inflation. So this is as of today, and we have interest rates that just about hit 5% today. And this, I actually went to this Mortgage News Daily, because they print all three. They do the Freddie Mac Mortgage Market Survey and a couple other things. And this is compliments of Kevin Buddy. He pointed out, man, you can get all three in one place. And so now I'm peeling it off, because Mortgage News Daily is a daily rate. So yeah, this fluctuates a little bit more, and it's not as smooth as maybe the other two rates that are on here, but it really does tell you where we are right now, because the Freddie Mac Mortgage Market Survey came out yesterday, and it was like at 4.5%. We're already above that. We're about at 5%. So it's already climbed another 0.5% since then. And that's because this survey, it becomes dated by the time they do it on Thursday, because they've been working on it for a week. So if you look at where the 5% is, you can see where COVID started. And now that is an exceptionally low rate compared to where we are today. So we've had this skyrocketing effect in interest rates, where they've come pretty significant from last September of 2021 to now. Interest rates have climbed 2%, 2 points, and that's huge. And if you draw a line across where we are right now, as far as almost 5%, the last time we hear, I know that says January 2019, but it's even prior to that. It's December of 2018. That's where interest rates are at right now. And if you look, I actually show you, these are the orange lines. This orange line is where they've gone in just the last week, because I plugged in all of the interest rates from the new charts that I could show you what it did over time. And what we're doing right now, I'm showing you with this arrow what they've done just in the last week, because this is as of last Thursday, where it was at last Thursday. Of course, now a week later, we're at 5% interest rates. And if I draw a line across there, you're seeing how much we have changed in such a little amount of time. It is just absolutely unprecedented how quickly rates have risen from 3.5% all the way to 5% in such a short period of time. That is absolutely significant. So it's gone up 1.5%. And if it sustains where it's at today, definitely it's going to have a major shockwave in the real estate market. And this is where the inventory is right now. But you can see where we're at right now compared to even the red line. It's still far below where we were back in that was 2018. But we're not even quite that same level of increase as 2018. So it's still a muted increase, and this is for all of Southern California. But where are we going to go from here? Now that we're staying here, now that we're starting to place more homes on the market, starting, we're just about to April. Once we get to April, that's a big month for homes coming on the market. And then we get to May, and there are even more homes that come on the market. And so a lot of those homes won't get away with overpricing, especially as more and more stay a little bit longer on the market and we start to accumulate a bit of inventory as we go towards the second half of the year and demand comes down a little bit, because we will peak in May. And once demand starts to come down and we still get more homes that come on the market, we will finally build a bit of an inventory, and we can make our way all the way up towards 25,000 homes in the market. But you can see, relative to time, 25,000 homes is just absolutely not enough homes. And if you go back, we were here at 25,000 homes in 2021. At the start, at the end of 2020, we were making our way towards that. So you could see that even though we're going to go up to about 25,000 homes, it's still muted compared to where we were in prior years. And as far as the inventory is concerned, last week we were at 13,310. That was up 3% in a 2-week period of time, just 395 extra. But that's that little slope is. It's a little bit of a slope, which is actually a good thing. We want to continue to see that it moves in this right direction. Last year we were at 15,955. That's 20% higher than where we are today. 3-year average is 35,250. That's 165% more today. Remember, I told you at the most, it looks like we're going to get to 25,000 homes. We're still going to be well below the average. And today, 13,301, there's absolutely no change. That is, in 1 week, everything placed on the market went into escrow. Oh, thank you for shutting off that light. Takes the oil off my head. My producer just showed up. Oh my gosh, I do have a special guest. Let's see. I was told that you can't see my special guest because they become really small, but who is the special guest? You got another one of those things? Man, he's getting a lot of those slappers. Who are you?
I'm Ezekiel. I earned this from my soul.
You earned this from your school?
I'm sleeping.
You were sleeping?
Oh, sleeping.
Sweeping.
Oh, sweeping.
I can't say that.
He says, you got it. Sleeping. I got it. You're sleeping. Sweeping. You were sweeping. Excellent. Well, say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. That's hilarious. Thank you. And now back to our regular program. But so there's been no change in the last 2 weeks. There's something else going on that I need to talk about. It's absolutely crucial that I refer to it. And that is this. The Southern California active listing inventory, since about 2014 on, what we've seen is the slow progression of fewer and fewer homes on the market. It took a while to get there. It just did. It took a while to get there. And if you see this, let's see. This is where we were at the start of 2020. So that is, it came down considerably in 2019. We got to there in 2020, and it continued to drive down because we got into COVID. COVID made everything worse. And then that was 2021. And then, 2020. And in 2021, it went down further so that we hit this all-time record. And now, oh my gosh, who do we have here? I have somebody. We'll get right back into that. But who's this?
Alana.
Are we doing something spectacular fun tonight?
Yes, I am spending the night at our Nana's.
Oh, you're ditching us, man. Unbelievable.
We all need our one-on-one time.
We all do. Can't wait to have mine with you. It'd be great. I heard some fun things you're going to do. You want to hear what it is?
No.
I'm not going to tell you.
To be
Don't worry.
surprised.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not telling you. Anyway, let's see if we get Nana on camera. Anyhow, so there's been this real problem with fewer and fewer homes coming to the market. The only reason why it actually went up for a minute is because if you see, hang on, if you see, it went up for a second, and that was that big Himalaya in the middle, and we talked about that. That was because of higher interest rates. So that was a large Himalaya, which will hopefully allow us to grow a little bit. But there is an issue that I need to talk about. And really quick, it's the new for sale signs that if I compare new for sale signs compared to the 3-year average pre-COVID, that's 2017 through 2019, In 2020, we were missing 29,000 homes. Some counties more than other counties, but by large, everywhere in Southern California, missing 29,000 for sale signs compared to that 3-year average in 2020. In 2021, it was 20,000 homes missing. So that's 7%. So between the two, we were missing almost 50,000 homes between 2020 and 2021. Now, in January alone, we were missing 5,000 homes. There was something new that was going on. It was down 23%, and it was the most for sale signs missing for a month since we went into COVID and were locked down. That dates all the way back to May of 2020. So then there was February of this year, and it was down 12%. So it's 2,500 missing homes. Now, the reason I think it was a little bit higher in January was because of Omicron was just spiking through the country as well as Southern California and California. So that could count for some of those missing for sale signs. But still, even at 2,500, that's a great clip because for the first 2 weeks of March, I did this analysis yesterday, we're down 19%, 2,500 missing for sale signs in the first 2 weeks of March. This has a lot to do with higher interest rates. So if you extrapolate out, it looks like it'll be about 5,000 plus or minus 1,000 because I don't know what will happen in the second weeks when I do the analysis. However, that's a lot of missing for sale signs. It'll be about 12,500 for the first 3 months of 2022. And keep in mind, in 2021, we did 20,000 for the whole year, and we're going to have 12,000 missing in 3 months. If you multiply that out, that's pretty significant because that's only the first quarter of the year. So, and I point this out. This is where I'm looking at. You can see I'm geeking out on this stuff, and I'm not going to get in the weeds. I'm just going to show you. You see the orange lines? That is the number of homes that were placed on the market for the month of January and February compared to years past. And you could see muted compared to years past. Now, if you compare it to 2020, which is that green line, of course, it was prior to the pandemic. Next month, when we do March, when it's finished, it will actually be higher than the green, but less than the red. So something to look at. It's not going to be as bad as where it was in March. However, it's going to be off. And so there is a new trend that has developed. I was starting to follow it in January. I was thinking this is going to be a trend. I'm looking into February, and then I'm looking at first couple weeks of March, and this is definitely a new trend. I've talked about it before, lack of homes coming on the market, but now it is at a greater extent, and it's because of the rise in rates. Because a lot of homeowners say, okay, where am I going to go? Where will I go? Everybody understands that. Where will I go is the big thing. So they're more than happy just to sit back and stay in their house. And that's because of rising home prices. They know that the home prices are rising. They know it's very difficult to find a home. So, hey, you know what? I'm sitting back. I'm fine. My home prices are rising. A. B, they also now know that mortgage rates are rising. And that creates a bit of a dilemma because currently they love their fixed low rate. They have a very, very good fixed low rate. It could be 2% less than where rates are at today. That is significant. As a matter of fact, when you do the math and crunch the numbers, let's see, honey, let's see if we want to do a move up. I actually took a real property that was purchased in 2015 at $665,000 and in a local property. And let's just hypothetically pretend they had a 90% loan and they refinanced it a couple of years ago. And that loan amounts $598,500. So the payment at 3% rate is $2,523 per month. Now, it was sold last week for $1 million. Actually, it's like $1.6 million, but I'm rounding. $1 million, right? The net proceeds were $378,000 for this property. Now, let's say that they want to purchase $200,000 higher, a $1.2 million house. And the loan, they're going to put $378,000 down. They have a new loan amount of $822,000 at a 3% rate, which is not where they're at. But if they were to plug in their exact same rate, they're looking at $3,466. The monthly increase would have been about $943 a month, $1,000, just about $1,000, just shy of that. So they had a budget for an extra $1,000 per month because they've lived there for a while. They are both earning more and they were ready to make a move. Now, the yearly increase would be $11,316 for that. So that is if they had a 3% rate, selling from at 1 million and going up to $1.2 million. Now let's take that same loan at $378,000, right? $822,000. And now let's plug in the 5% rate. We're now looking at $4,412, which is a difference of $1,889 per month. So their move from million to 1.2 is now $1,889 per month. Because remember, they've been fixed before at 3%. And now they're looking at a 5% rate at a higher level. And the yearly increase would be $22,668. If you don't believe that this is going to keep butts in the seat, then you're mistaken. This is going to keep homeowners from placing their homes on the market. And I'm not even factoring in property taxes, because that example went from $600,000 to $1.2 million. Their property taxes double. So they went from $6,000 a year to $12,000 a year. Do the math. It's another $500 a month, or add another $6,000 to that. That's 28 grand. So it's close to $29,000 per year annual increase. This is where it gets significant enough where it's going to start to peel off the number of move up sellers. So as a result, you're going to get homeowners that are going to be more than happy. I've got a fixed rate. I'm fine. And there's not going to be any of this panic selling. I keep on hearing this from all angles, and I just can't get in the weeds and look at what these other people that talk. I get a lot of videos that are sent my direction about crashes and things happening, and then I read them and I look at some of the comments, and it just astounds me. And some of the comments are that people are going to come on the market. Oh my gosh, they're going to panic sell. And I'm here to tell you they're not. They have good credit. They have money in the bank. We know that. And they're also gainfully employed because they have the good credit. And we've been building this kind of a home stock for years. So all the homeowners out there that have been purchasing have been solid, and they have a lot of equity. Tons of equity, not the fake equity, that little bump where dead people and dogs got loans, but to the right, where it's really solid equity that was built on the backs of just a really, really strong market. So you need homes to come on the market in order for the market to crash, or for it to become a buyer's market. But that's really going to be a problem to build. And we hear it all the time. Investors bought a record share of homes in 2021, and it is big across the board. And there's different analysis. Redfin has one at 18.4%. And know that this is not necessarily like the 60 Minutes episode, and everybody thinks BlackRock and everybody, they bought up just giant amount of our home stock. That's not necessarily what the truth right now. Recently, mom and pops make up a bigger share of that 18.4% for the fourth quarter of 2021. And this actually drills it down to where people are purchasing. And you can see the burgundy, there's tiny little swatches where there is a lot of investment properties, but there aren't that many places throughout Southern California where there's a lot of investors. And I know that there's been a lot of people that have said, yeah, well, as soon as this thing goes south, there's all these investors and they're going to sell their homes. I don't get that. I don't understand, because we're not going to all of a sudden have values come down. Values are going to slow from 20% down to, let's say, 4 to 5% appreciation. That's still up. A. B. Where have rents gone? Rents were a little bit slower on the uptake, but now they are actually surging as well at the same time. And it's a real problem across the United States. So it makes sense to be a landlord. And why all of a sudden would they panic and say, yeah, I'm selling my stuff? I just don't understand the logic behind that. So as a result, we are going to see not enough homes coming on the market. And this will continue to mute the inventory, so that we're going to have a really hard time even growing towards 25,000 homes by the end of this year, which is well below the average prior to COVID. So we're going to have a hard time building inventory this year. And I just showed you why. But before I get to other housing metrics, I wanted to thank our sponsor. Of course, he's my buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial. He's awesome. And he deals with more than one kind of borrower, more than one kind of loan. And he deals with full documentation loans, alternative documentation loans, investor financing, and private money loans, deals with it all. He has loads and loads of experience. As you can tell, he's coming to me with different ideas. I absolutely love it. I invite anybody to bring me different ideas of what I need to be looking at. Please comment in the comment section and let me know what else you want to see. But Kevin Buddy's coming out with me some great ideas. Can't wait to implement some of them. And he's got loads and loads of experience because he's been doing this since 1976. He's my buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial. You can contact him to help you like he helped my family. And he does such a fantastic job, him and his team. It's absolutely the smoothest transactions you'll deal with. So have him help you out as well. 949-422-2075. Thanks, Kevin, again for your continued sponsorship. But let's get into SoCal demand. Holy smokes. It has been like this for quite some time. I'm still hearing it. Homes are coming on the market on Saturday, Sunday, little windows so that you can see it, and they're sold by the time you get to Monday. Until I see the inventory start to climb and demand to start to fall where it's at right now, it continues to be hot. It's going to take us a while to get there. This is why I project a lot of the cool down to happen this second half of 2022. I think I'll start to see it in the numbers as early as May, because interest rates have been climbing. And when people do the math, they understand that it's a bit expensive. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to see it in the purchase application. This is purchase applications, and no, it's still really high compared to where we were prior to COVID. And this is where it's at right now. However, since this was done, because this was done, it was through last Friday or something like that. Interest rates have gone up considerably since. So as these interest rates are digested, I'm interested to see. I actually think this orange line is going to continue to trail down, and not going to follow the red line. That was when we went into the pandemic, but I think it's going to surpass that green line, which was 2019. Or at least hit it. I think that is coming, and we'll see within the next couple of weeks. As long as these rates stay where they're at, or actually go higher, we'll just have to wait and see. And as far as demand is concerned, a snapshot of 30 days worth of escrow activity. That's new escrow activity. I take the same snapshot over and over and over again for years. And last week was at a little over 16,000. It went up 4% or up 556 pending sales. So it wasn't surging. And last year was at 19,747, 21% higher than where we are today, which is significantly higher. And a 3-year average is 16,454, which is 1% higher than where we are today. And today we're at 16,660. So it went up 2%. This is not big increases. And the reason why it's not making its way up towards the red line is entirely because of higher mortgage rates. And as a matter of fact, we are going to peak. It's going to be a slight incline until we get to sometime in May, which is not far from now. Will probably be a month and a half from now. And then after that, we're going to watch demand fall if we stay at these higher rates. And with staying power, what we'll see is demand diminish over time, and we'll start to see an elevation in the inventory. Like I said, you'll start to see it in May. You'll start to feel it over the summer, and by the time we get to the fall, for sure. So closed sales, based upon everything that I'm looking at today, closed sales are going to be down between 10 and 15%. It might ride all the way up to 15%. It just depends upon where interest rates go. And it's only because there's a limited amount of inventory. And I just showed you why fewer homeowners are placing their homes on the market right now. Well, when you have fewer homeowners placing their homes on the market, we can't place them into escrow and we can't turn them into closed sales. So this will continue to impact the number of closed sales for the time being. And so how fast is this market moving? Oops, 24 days today. It was 24 days last week. Forgot to update that one. But last year at the same time was at 24 days. So it seems to be 24 days. 3-year average is 64 days. So a lot slower at this time of the year prior to COVID. And you can see how robust the market is right now. And it's been robust, and it remains robust right now today, which means that even though we have a higher interest rates and some buyers are peeling off, and yes, we're going to start to see fewer offers, we're still generating too many offers, and we're still getting homes that are selling above their asking price just because of where the inventory is at right now. So it's very hard to see it in demand, because we've had way too much demand where we generated way too many offers. So now that we peel off more and more offers, in time, it will peel off to where you won't get away with overpricing. that will happen later in the year. So where are we going to go from here? I expect the expected market time to bottom out soon, and then it'll be a slow but sure migration upward if we remain at these interest rates at where they're at today. These interest rates at 5%, absolutely, we'll see a bit of a slowdown, but it won't be as big of a slowdown because we're not getting as many homeowners coming on the market. You need more inventory in order for there to be enough homes so that buyers they have way too many to choose from, and it starts to slow things down. But with fewer homes coming on the market, that is a trend that is going to mess that thing up a little bit. And Los Angeles is at a 29-day expected market time, went down another day, is at a new all-time record today. It's never been in the 20s, first time ever. Orange County's at 20 days. It's been there now for a bit. It was at 19, then was at 20 starting last week, and it's at 20 this week. Riverside's at 21 days. Also the same place it was last week. San Bernardino's at 28 days, same place. San Diego's at 18 days, same place as it was last week, but that is a record low for San Diego. And if you want a copy of this, you need to be a subscriber to the Housing Report, and I'm going to send it to you automatically. It's a new feature of being a subscriber, so I invite you to subscribe and go to reportsonhousing.com, click on subscribe, and you know what? I'll leave that up there for a second. Even, you know what? Pause the video, do what you want. You can actually take a QR code of that, and that will take you right over to reportsonhousing.com so that you can subscribe. And we have reports that dot all over Southern California and soon the Bay Area. $15 per month or $150 per year. You get a month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code MARCH. And this is the latest one that came out this week. It's called, I forgot to put it on here. This is not the latest one. This is what San Bernardino Riverside got last week, and Orange County and LA and San Diego got this the week prior to that. The one that came out this week is called Out of Control. And boy, was that a fun one to write. It just shows that the market right now is out of control with some examples of things that we're seeing, and just showing you where market time is today compared to prior years, year by year, as well as where inventory is right now, year by year. And it's very, very eye-opening. It's called Out of Control. That's all I have. Go ahead and put comments in the comment section, and you could say goodbye to everybody. This is my good friend, Mason, who will be hanging out with me. Boom, rocket. There's no Athena today. She's having fun doing something else. And I guess we didn't get a special guest experience, a guest appearance. Thank you.
Wait, what
from
about
Nana.
me?
Oh, no, we did. But I'm saying
Nana was busy with Luna.
Nana was busy with Luna. Luna and Nana have a special bond. Anyhow, I just want to thank you for coming to us another Friday. Put anything you have in the chat. I'd be more than happy to respond to whatever questions you may have. And then I invite you to subscribe on YouTube, and we will see you on the other side. Have a fantastic weekend. Thanks much.